Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, folks, Big Paul here today, hot off the Mr. Olympia. Yesterday's Mr. Olympia was a spicy one. A lot of people are worked up about Derek beating Hadi. There's people on both sides. Some people say that Hadi got robbed. Some people say that Derek won fair and square. I'm going to dig into all of it and give you my thoughts on who looked the best in just 1 second. All right, folks, people are all emotional about this one. I have been watching social media. I've had tons of people message me, ask me what I thought about the results of the 2023 Mr. Olympia contest. It's hard to tell watching from video and looking at pictures. I will say that it is much different when you're at a show actually in person and see the guys up close. I know when I was at the New York Pro this past year, people were kind of upset that Tonio beat Stu. And when you're there in person, it was clear when Tonio walked out on the stage that he was a better competitor than Stu was at that time. That, not taking anything away from Stu, these guys are the best in the world. So looking at pictures, watching things on the live stream doesn't always tell the truth. But we're going to take a look at some high-res pictures that I have here from the contest and see what we can get from these. But I will say some things such as depth of physique, some of the conditioning stuff, you really can't tell from pictures until you're there in person. That 3D look that you hear guys talk about all the time, that's really something that's not present until, or you're not aware of until you're there in person and you can see it up close. I met Samson Dauda earlier this year, and pictures just do not do that dude justice. He is one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen in person. And I'm not a small guy. There's not many people that make me feel small. And that dude is gigantic. So there's only so much you can take from pictures, but we'll go through and kind of break this down by pose, and we'll talk about who I think won and who I think was the best. So first pose that we have up here, most muscular from the front with Derek, Hadi, and Samson. Let me just say about Samson, I love Samson. I was rooting for him this year. He is sort of my favorite. Super nice guy. I like his physique, but it was clear that he was in third place to me. There's no controversy there. Both Hadi and Derek were better than him. His physique just wasn't as crisp as the other two. And you know, so I don't think there's any controversy there, but you can see it clearly from the pictures here that Samson was in third place. There's a little something weird going on here with his abs too. I know a lot of guys, as they get bigger, we talked about it on our podcast, their abs start to pull apart. And his conditioning, he looked like he had a little bit of water, a film of water on him. It could be from the show being late at night. I can't tell you how hard it is to hold condition later in the night. I don't know how these guys stay dry and conditioned for a show 2 days in a row and at night. You're the driest in the morning, typically. That's when you're the most dehydrated. You're not on your feet all day long. You're not retaining fluid. Morning is usually your best look. That's why most amateur shows, bodybuilding shows, are in the morning. I hate these shows where you have to come back in the evening and do finals. Guys always look worse in the evening for the most part. But you can see here, Hadi looks great from this pose. This is definitely his pose. Chest is excellent. His midsection, I really love his abs. I think he, even though he's blocky, he has nice, thick, chunky abs, and his serratus is just unreal. Nice, big, wide shoulders. He really looks good from the most muscular pose, and I would probably give this one to Hadi. Let's take a look at the next one here. Front double bicep. Now here, this is where Derek probably shines a little bit more than Hadi. You can see Hadi's chunky waist actually looks good on things like the most muscular, But when you're in a stretched out position here, like the front double bicep, you can see how blocky his waist is and how he doesn't have much of a taper. Derek definitely has more of a taper. Hadi's legs, I would say from the front, look just a bit better, but I think overall this pose suits Derek better. So this one's kind of a toss-up. I would say maybe give the edge to Derek on this one. Samson just does not look as good as the rest of these guys. You can see here his abs are a bit washed out. Something's going on. A little bit of water, whatever it was, I'm not really sure. But, Samson, I like Samson, but he just doesn't look as good as these two here. Now, this is where Derek separates himself. So, slight edge on the most muscular from the front. I would say for Hadi, slight edge to Derek on the front double bi from the front. But man, when they turn around, it is clear who the winner is here. There is no dispute who the winner is when they turn around from the back. You can see here with Derek, his conditioning from the back is just unreal. You can see how cut out his hamstrings are, how dug out his glutes are. His back is bigger. Everything from this back pose is better than both Hadi and Samson here. He just dominates this pose. Better taper, more musculature, better conditioning, hamstrings are better, calves are better, the arms, maybe it's a toss-up on the arms, I don't know. But pretty much everything else, I would give this one to Derek. I mean, it's just no contest for me. From behind, and they say shows... You'll hear people say all the time that shows are won from behind. And that there is some truth to that. When you're conditioned from behind, judges know your conditioning is on point. Anybody who's ever prepped for a show knows that you come in first, like you get shredded up front first, and then the last place things go is usually your lower back, your glutes, your hamstrings. That's the last place to get conditioned. So if you have true top tier conditioning, this is where you can see it. And it is painfully obvious here that Derek is just the best at this in this pose. So this is probably, I would assume, in the judges' eyes, if you went and asked the judges what won the show for him. Samson, I don't know. There even looks like there's actually, and I feel for him, I have the same issue. It looks like there's even maybe a pocket of fat here on his lower back that he still has. Or maybe it's just some skin, or maybe it's a little bit of water being held, but to me it looks like he's still holding some fat on his lower back. It's really hard to get that last bit of fat off your lower back and retain size. Up front lat spread. Once again, this one I would give to Derek. His midsection looks better from this pose. I don't know what's going on with Hadi's midsection here. It looks really, really weird. This might be a posing issue. Maybe if he crunched down on his midsection, he has a really, really good looking ab or midsection when he crunches down on it. And when he stretches out, I think he sort of loses his pop here. Say what you want. There seems to be some sort of imbalance in his pecs going on too. You can see here where, I don't know if he maybe had a little tear or if it's just the way he's flexing it, but his left pec is a little bit off. Shoulders don't have that same roundness. It even looks like maybe he's been injecting in his shoulders. I don't know. Derek has nice round shoulders, better midsection from the front. Hadi's chest, if it was balanced, probably would be better. Hadi's legs from the front are better. Samson here, once again, you can see this is no contest. Samson's midsection is a mess. His gut's sticking out. He's bloated. He doesn't really have much definition in his midsection. I don't know. His conditioning was just way off. All right. Once again, we're from the back again. Another pose. If you want, you could say that last one. If you wanted to give it a toss-up again, you could probably say it was a toss-up at best. At best, I don't think Hadi won it. At best, it's a toss-up. Once again, Samson doesn't hold up here. You can see, once again, it looks like there's some fat here in his lower back. You can see Hadi here just does not have the same conditioning from the back that Derek does, or hamstrings, or glutes, or back density that Derek does. Derek just blows him out of the water on this one. So this is another one in another check mark in Derek's column. Side chest. I really, 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 really like Hadi's side chest, and this is one that I sort of expected him to dominate on, but he doesn't. And it's mainly because of Derek's conditioning from the back. You can see how separated his glutes are, how separated his hamstrings are. All of that shines through in this picture, and it's the conditioning from the back that probably won this for him. If Hadi was in comparable condition, maybe you would give this one to Hadi. I don't know. But Derek, to me, there's slight edge for Derek on this one. Derek just looks better here. Hamstrings look better. Even though Hadi has a little bit more of a hang, Derek's just in better condition here. Chest thickness is about the same. Hadi has a little bit better definition in his chest. But I would give this one to, definitely give this one to Derek. Once again, Samson, I don't know what he's doing here. Pose is way off. Maybe he hadn't hit his full pose yet, but just doesn't compare. It's, once again, I don't think Samson really competed with the top two in any of these poses at this show. It's not to say that he can't in the future. All right, so this one here, side tricep. This is another one that I really like Hadi on, but once again, this conditioning here from the side, from his rear, really it's funny how like that really shines through on these side shots. You can see here Derek's triceps are just a bit better than Hadi's, although I do like Hadi's midsection better from this position. I like Hadi's chest better from this position, the way he's got things going here. But glutes, hamstrings, calves, triceps, I would say all that, Derek has the advantage over Hadi on this one. So at best, this one would be a toss-up. At best, I would tip if I were judging, I would tip the cap to Derek on this one. And Samson's just a mess here. I don't know what's going on. I shouldn't say a mess. Now here's one that Hadi, in my opinion, clearly wins. Some people are going to disagree with me because he has a blocky waist. But Derek's waist is definitely the smallest out of all of them. And if you were purely going on small waist and taper, this would probably be in Derek's favor. But I personally like the way Hadi's midsection looks from this pose. His serratus is unreal. I've never seen anybody that has a serratus like that. Leg conditioning, you can see here, Hadi's legs are a bit bigger. I don't know. I would tip the cap towards Hadi on this one. Samson, he's not in the picture on this one, but maybe a slight tip to the cap to Hadi on this one. And you can see the overall judging scores. I'm not going to go through them all, but it was pretty clear in both prejudging and finals that let's see, Hadi had a 9 and a 9, so a total of 18. So he scored the same in prejudging and finals. Let's see if we can find where Derek is. He was a 7 and a 6, so Derek beat him in both prejudging and finals. It's just as simple as that. Just as simple as that. So to me, it's pretty clear who won this one. Now, there were some fireworks after the show. I don't know what happened. We can speculate on it. I don't know what happened, but Hadi appears to get upset and leave the stage early. You can see here they did their double bicep, and he said, "I'm out of here," and walked off. And they're like, "Where's he going? Where's he going?" You can see the look on Derek's face here. Brandon Curry reaches over. He's a good sport and grabs his hand. It's a really, really, really weird situation here. Hadi waves and leaves. Now, I don't want to jump to conclusion that he was being a sore sport. Maybe he was. I don't know. But all the guys are definitely looking at him like, what the hell is going on? Hadi has hearing impairment. From what I understand, I don't know how well he hears. Maybe it's possible that he thought things were over. I know a lot of times when shows are finished, they just make you do the front double bicep and then you're off the stage. So it is possible that he thought it was over and walked off the stage, if we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But to me, that looked like a bit of poor sportsmanship to me. He was pissed. he got second place. He walked off the stage. Now, in his defense, when you're on the stage like that, at the end of contest prep, I can tell you, your head ain't right. I've been there before. I got my ass kicked at a show, and I was literally in tears after the show. I have no idea why. I'm a pretty sound, stable, I don't get worked up kind of person. I'm very emotionally neutral, I would say. I don't get too high, I don't get too low about things. But at the end of contest prep, you're starved, you're sleep deprived, your hormones are all out of whack. Throw Trent in the mix. You don't think clearly. You really don't think clearly. The only time I never snap at people, just never. I'm a very patient person for the most part. The only time I ever snap at anybody is with the coworkers or family. And I'm not even talking about yelling. It's at the end of contest prep. So either he didn't hear or he just got pissed, was upset, walked off the stage. Whatever the fact, it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look for him. Just calling it the way it is. Now, I like Hadi. I like him a lot. I was very happy he won last year. I don't want people to take this the wrong way and think that I'm bashing Hadi in any way. He's one of my favorite competitors. I really like his physique. But I will tell you this. That's not a good look if you want to make money from bodybuilding. You have to think about your career. This is more than just competing on the stage. These guys have sponsorship. They have social media following. And when people see you behave like that, they're going to make judgments. And that cost him some money. That probably cost him a lot of money. And don't kid yourself that that's not going to be in the back of the judges' minds the next time they see him, that the guy was a poor sport. And, whether it's true or not, that is going to be in some people's minds moving forward. If you own a supplement company and you're looking to have an ambassador for your supplement company, do you want to have the guy that behaves like that on your payroll that you're paying a bunch of money to? I wouldn't. Just saying. And I know a lot of people love Hadi. I think Hadi's fantastic. I don't want you guys to think that I'm taking anything away from him. These are the best people in the world at what they do. Last year he was the best in the world. This year he's the second best in the world. There is no shame in being second best in the world. That is a proud, amazing accomplishment. And I understand that a lot of these guys put so much pressure on themselves to be the best. And after you spend months sacrificing, putting your all into it, probably putting family, friends, everything else, your life on hold so you can compete, there's a lot of emotions flying around there at the end. All right, folks, that's all I got for you on this one. If you want to support me, please support my sponsor, First Detachment Nutrition, quality supplements formulated by the man himself, Justin Harris. Discount code is AB10. Please use that at the checkout to get 10% off. Also, if you haven't done so yet, check out Kurt Haven's ebook on HGH. It's 120 or so pages of awesomeness. Link to it is in the video description below. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Am I completely off? I want to hear what you think about the Olympia results. Thank you for watching. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.